So you just hit submit on a job application and now you are praying that you won't get ghosted. You're gonna get some type of response, right? It is out of your hands now. So you just let the chips fall where they may. Wrong. You might think you're done, but the most important work actually comes after you hit submit. And here is the good news. These next steps are way easier than writing that perfect cover letter or tailoring your resume. I have landed my last 3 jobs that paid me well over 6-figure salaries by using exactly what I am about to teach you in this video. So here are the 10 things you can do right after applying to make sure that you actually secure the job. Starting with mastering the art of the follow-up. Most people either never follow up or follow up in a completely wrong way. So here's how to do it the right way. Send your thank you email within 24 hours acknowledging your application submission. Keep it brief and professional. Thank you for considering my application for the role. I am excited about the opportunity to contribute to some specific company goal or project, and I look forward to hearing from you. A lot of times you can find the person to send this to on LinkedIn because it will point out the hiring team, but other times if you can get some intel on your own by searching through LinkedIn pages and the employee profiles, that is the best way to find the right person to send this follow-up email to. Follow up again after 1 to 2 weeks, but don't just say something like, hey, checking in. You want to add value. So share a relevant article, industry insight, or portfolio piece that demonstrates your expertise. Connect your follow-up to recent company news or industry developments as an extra bonus point. Here's an example. I saw that X company just announced some recent news. This reminds me of a similar project I worked on where we did something specific. I thought you might find this case study interesting and attach some relevant work sample. Each follow-up should provide value, not just ask for updates. You want them to think, this person keeps adding value rather than this person just keeps bothering us. Next is to master strategic LinkedIn connections. Within 24 to 48 hours of applying, you need to get on LinkedIn and start connecting with people at that company. But we're not just talking about random connections here. This needs to be strategic. First, identify 3 to 5 people at the company or the team who are key personnel. Start with the hiring manager if you can figure out who that is. Again, look on LinkedIn. Sometimes they will call out the hiring manager or hiring team on the actual job posting. Look for people with titles like senior manager, director, or VP in the department that you are applying to. And then connect with people who currently have the same role that you are applying for as well. They can give you insider insights, and I will show you how you can engage with those people to get those insights later. Make sure you are sending connection requests and not just the generic ones that LinkedIn generates for you. Craft personalized messages that mention your recent application. So a template that worked for me was, hi name, I recently applied for some specific position at XYZ company and noticed your background in some specific area. I'd like to connect and learn more about your experience at XYZ company. And we have to keep this short because this is just the initial connection request, so it's limited to 300 characters. Here's a tip. Make sure you are prioritizing people who are active on LinkedIn and are likely to respond. Look at their recent posts and activity. If they are regularly sharing content and engaging, then they are more likely to accept your connection and potentially respond to your messages. The goal here isn't to immediately ask for favors. It is to get on their radar and start building relationships that could benefit you throughout the process and maybe down the line as well. Now, if you are feeling overwhelmed by all of this LinkedIn strategy stuff, I totally get it. And that is actually why I created my Mastering LinkedIn course recently. It breaks down exactly how to do all this networking without feeling awkward or salesy on LinkedIn. There is a link in the description if you want to check it out. On that note, you then want to launch your LinkedIn content strategy. This is where most people miss a huge opportunity. Right after you apply, you want to strategically post content that showcases your expertise for the role that you just applied for. And again, I break down exactly when and what to post on LinkedIn in my course. Keep in mind that this strategy is most effective if you've already been posting. So you don't want to just randomly start slinging out posts after you've applied for a job. People are going to be like, where did this come from? Again, check out the course because I break down how to do that. But when it does come time to share these insights, you want to look for solutions to problems that this company is likely facing. If you applied for like a marketing role at a SaaS company, post about SaaS marketing trends. If you applied for a project management position, share insights about effective project management strategies. Timing matters here. Post on usually Tuesday through Thursday between 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. or 12 to 1 p.m. for maximum visibility. These are when professionals are most active on LinkedIn and they are going to be more likely to see and engage with your content. The key is creating posts that demonstrate thought leadership in areas that are relevant to the job. So don't just reshare other people's content, add your own perspective and insights. This will position you as someone who doesn't just do the work, but thinks critically about the industry and business challenges around the work. So then if you did the prior step where you connected with people at the company correctly, they will see this content and it reinforces that you are knowledgeable and engaged in the field. It is like a subtle reminder that you exist and that you are thinking about the same challenges that they face every day. So you are already proving that you can do the job. Next is gathering intel through informational outreach. This is one of the most underused strategies in my opinion, and it is so effective. Reach out to current employees for informational interviews about the role and team. Message people who currently have the role you are applying for or who work on the same team that you would be joining. A script that you can use is, "Hi name, I recently applied for XYZ role and would love to learn more about what it's like to work on XYZ team or department. Would you be open to a brief 15-minute call to share your perspective on the role and company culture?" And this would come after they have already accepted your personalized connection request from the prior step. Ask them what the team is actually like to work with, what keeps them up at night, and what would make someone crush it in this role. This information is gold because it tells you what they really care about, not just what is in the job posting. You can even ask them to take a quick look at your background and see if there's anything you should highlight or any red flags you should address. Most people are actually surprisingly willing to provide this information. And then you're going to use everything that they told you to get ready for the potential interview. If they mention the team is struggling with customer churn, you better have a story ready about how you've tackled retention problems before. The key here is that these conversations often lead to internal referrals. If someone likes you and thinks that you could potentially be a good fit, they might put in a good word with the hiring manager. Next is to create a multi-touch engagement strategy. You want to stay on these people's radars in multiple ways, not just through direct messages that might get ignored. Start engaging with the company's LinkedIn posts, but actually add value here. Don't just hit like and disappear. Leave insightful comments that show that you know what you're talking about. When employees see thoughtful responses on their company's posts, your name sticks in their mind. You'll also want to look for virtual events, webinars, or conferences where people from the company are speaking. Companies love hosting or joining industry events. So show up, ask good questions during Q&A, then follow up afterward mentioning something specific from their talk. I know this all sounds very stalkerish, but at the end of the day, it is about showing that you are actively engaged in the field and thinking about the same problems they are. This is how you are proactive, not just reactive. The whole point is to create multiple positive impressions over time. Instead of just one, "Hey, I applied" message, you want several moments where they think, "Oh, this person really gets it." Next, you want to tap into your warm connections for internal referrals. Here is really where your network becomes your secret weapon. Most jobs get filled through referrals, so you need to find any possible connection to the company. Start by checking if anyone in your LinkedIn network works there or used to work there. You would be surprised how often you'll find a connection that you forgot about. And also, LinkedIn makes it really easy to find these people because it specifically points out people in your network who used to work or currently work at these companies. Now, if you see that a colleague is connected to someone at the company, ask for an introduction. Try something like, "Hey, I noticed you're connected to so-and-so at the company. I just applied for a role there. Is there any chance you would be comfortable making an intro for me?" Also, don't forget about your college alumni. Make sure you use your school's directory or LinkedIn's alumni tool to find people who went to your university and now work there. The goal is to get your application flagged internally. Most companies have referral programs, and an employee referral can bump up your application right to the top of the pile. The next step is to monitor and respond to digital signals. In today's world, there are so many digital breadcrumbs everywhere if you know where to look. Keep an eye out for who is checking out your LinkedIn profile. LinkedIn shows you who has viewed your profile in the last 90 days. If someone from the company stalks your profile, that is perfect ammunition for a follow-up message. Then you're going to watch if the company updates or reposts the job listing. Changes might mean that they're having trouble finding good candidates, or they've tweaked what they're looking for based on who has applied. You can also set up alerts for company news that might speed up their hiring. If they got funding recently, won a big contract, or announced expansion plans, they might fast track their hiring process. All of these little signals give you real-time intel about your application and what the company is prioritizing. Tip 8 is to prepare aggressively for potential next steps. While you are waiting to hear back, use this time to get ridiculously prepared for what will come next. You'll want to go to Glassdoor and check out what other candidates have experienced. What questions did they get asked? How many interview rounds did they have? What was the format like? This is basically getting the test to answers ahead of time. You'll want to prepare solid STAR method examples for each major requirement in the job description. Have specific stories ready that show your experience and the results that you have delivered. Use this time while you are waiting to polish your portfolio and make sure that it shows off relevant work. Depending on your field, this could be design samples, writing pieces, project case studies, or data analysis examples. Practice explaining why you want this specific job at this specific company. Don't just say you want any job. Use all that research you did about their specific challenges and goals. Also, prepare smart questions that show you have done your homework. Instead of asking, what's the culture like? Ask about specific challenges the team is facing or recent initiatives that you have read about. Here's a pro tip. Use ChatGPT to help with that prep. Feed it the job description and ask it to generate likely interview questions for you, or have it run a mock interview based on what you know about the company. The goal is to be so prepared that when they call, you are ready to have a smart, informed conversation about the role and company. Tip 9 is to build your pipeline. One of the biggest mistakes people make is putting all of their energy into one application and then they just keep waiting. Keep your momentum going, dear God. Keep networking and applying to other opportunities while you're waiting. Don't put all of your eggs in one basket. The best time to land a job is when you are already in the running for other jobs. Also, you don't want to let your new connections go cold. Make sure you are scheduling check-ins every month or two with them. Send them updates about your job search or share relevant articles. You have no idea when somebody might pop back up with an opportunity down the line. Having multiple opportunities going for you puts you in a way better negotiating position and takes the pressure off any single application. And my last tip is to know when and how to gracefully persist. There is a fine line between being persistent and being annoying, and you need to know where that line is. So learn to read the room. If someone responds to your outreach with short, vague answers, they might be trying to politely shut you down. If they don't respond at all after multiple attempts, it's time to back off and move on to the next opportunity. On the other hand, if they are asking follow-up questions, suggest next steps, or give specific feedback, those are good signs, and that means that you should be doubling down. In your final follow-up, leave the door open for future opportunities. Tell them you are still interested in the company and ask them to keep you in mind for future roles. Some of the best opportunities come from relationships you have built in previous applications that didn't work out. And lastly, remember that being persistent shows you are interested and motivated, but crossing into harassment territory can immediately trash your reputation and hurt future chances, so tread carefully. Okay, so let's wrap all this up. The 10 things that separate the candidates who get hired from the ones who just disappear into the application void. The crazy thing is, most of these take less time than writing a cover letter, but they're way more effective, so you have no excuse. Here's the reality. Your competition is probably watching this same video right now. The difference is going to be who actually does something with this information. Are you going to be the person who implements these strategies, or the person who just bookmarks the video and forgets about it? I've used these exact strategies to land my past 3 six-figure roles, and I've also combined them with the tactics that you should be using before applying to the jobs. Make sure you check out that video. I have seen hundreds of people transform their job search results by just switching from being passive to being active after they apply. So you can either keep playing this numbers game and just move right along to your next job application, or you can actually make an impression after you hit submit so that you're not just another PDF in the hiring manager's inbox. If this video helped you at all, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more job search tips. And also, if you want my complete system for attracting and landing interviews through LinkedIn, make sure you check that out in the description below, and let me know if you want to see more videos about LinkedIn specifically on my YouTube. And the last word I will say is to remember that job searching is a marathon, it's not a sprint. Stay strategic, stay persistent, and most importantly, stay active even after you hit that submit button. I will see you guys in the next video.